Have you ever wondered why your heart still waits, even after all the pain, even after all the disappointments? You try to move on, yet something inside you whispers that someone out there is meant for you. Not just anyone, not just a passing smile or a fleeting hand to hold, but the one who was written into your story long before you took your first breath. That ache you feel, that longing that refuses to die, it isn't weakness, it's not foolish hope. It's the echo of a promise placed in you by the one who made you. You're not searching for luck. You're not chasing coincidence. Deep down, you know it. What you long for isn't random. It's divine. And though the waiting feels heavy, though the nights feel empty, there is a reason your soul won't settle for less, because God doesn't put desire in your heart without intention. He doesn't leave you yearning without purpose. The emptiness you feel isn't a void to despair in. It's space being carved out for the person who is meant to fill it. Stay here, lean in, and listen. Because what feels like silence is actually preparation, and what you think is distance is only the beginning of a path that leads you to the one your soul was made to recognize. What you call waiting is not wasted time. It is God's design. He is not delaying to punish you. He is shaping you so that when the right person arrives, you are ready to recognize them, to hold them, to love them in a way that lasts. Think about it. If He gave you your soulmate too soon, would you have been prepared? Or would you have lost them because you weren't yet the person you were meant to be? Every unanswered prayer, every heartbreak, every lonely night is not evidence of absence, but proof of preparation. The pressure you feel is not meant to break you. It is meant to refine you. Because the person who is coming into your life is not ordinary. They are chosen. And to stand beside them, you must also rise. You cannot settle in this season. You cannot numb the ache with counterfeits, because every wrong connection only delays the right one. Every compromise only keeps you wandering in circles. And you know it. You felt it. That emptiness after giving your heart to the wrong hands, that deep knowing that they were not the one. God allows those lessons not to destroy you, but to sharpen your vision so that when the real one comes, you will not confuse imitation for destiny. This is not just about love. This is about purpose. When you meet the one God has prepared, it will not just heal your loneliness. It will awaken something greater. Your calling will be clearer. Your steps will be stronger. Because true love from God doesn't just complete you, it propels you. And that is why you cannot give up now. That is why the waiting matters, because the moment you are tempted to settle is often the moment right before God reveals what He has been saving for you. And here is the truth most people never face. God will not bring your soulmate into the version of you that clings to fear, bitterness, or doubt. He brings them to the version of you that has learned to let go, to trust, to rise above the pain that once defined you. This is why your battles matter. This is why your healing matters. Because the strength you build in this season will be the foundation of the love you are about to walk into. Think about the fire you've walked through. Every tear, every betrayal, every moment you thought you would break, it was carving you into someone new. And when you meet the one God has chosen, they will not see your scars as flaws. They will see them as proof that you were forged in something real. Proof that you endured. Proof that you are ready. But you must understand this. Not everyone will recognize your worth. Not everyone will carry the weight of your soul. That is why God removes certain people from your life. That is why relationships fall apart. It feels like loss, but it is protection. Because if He allowed you to stay with the wrong one, you would never be free to meet the right one. Your soulmate is not just a partner. They are a mirror. They reflect the version of you that God always saw, even when you didn't believe it. And when your eyes finally meet theirs, it won't feel like the beginning of something new. It will feel like remembering something ancient, something your soul has been waiting for all along. This is why you can't afford to give up. This is why your faith matters more now than ever, because God does not waste your longing. He does not waste your waiting. He is aligning every detail, every step, every second to bring you face to face with the one who was written for you before time began. There will come a moment when everything starts to shift. The people who once held your attention will no longer move your spirit. The distractions that once looked like love will suddenly feel hollow, and deep inside, you will sense it. Something is changing. That is God pulling you out of what is temporary and into what is eternal. Do not ignore that pull. Do not silence that whisper, because this is the season where you are being tested, where false fires burn the brightest just before the real light breaks through. You will be tempted to settle, to grab hold of the first hand that reaches out, just to quiet the loneliness. But you cannot. Not now. Not when you are so close. The enemy wants you distracted. He wants you tangled in counterfeit love so you miss the one who was made for you. But if you trust the process, if you dare to wait just a little longer, you will see why God asked you to endure. Because the real thing does not come with confusion, it comes with peace. The right one will not drain you, they will strengthen you. They will not just speak to your ears, they will speak to your soul. And when that connection arrives, it will not feel forced. It will not feel like chasing. It will feel like breathing, natural, unshakable, divine, the kind of bond that doesn't just soothe your heart, but ignites your purpose. Together you will rise into a story bigger than yourself. That is why every trial matters. That is why every lonely night has meaning. Because you are being prepared for a love that does not just satisfy desire, it fulfills destiny. And once you step into that, you will finally understand why you had to wait, why you had to endure, and why nothing else ever felt like enough. When the moment finally comes, it will not arrive with thunder or flashing signs. It will come in silence, in the kind of peace that disarms your fears and calms the storm inside you. You will know not because of excitement that fades, but because of a certainty that stays. Their presence will feel like home, and for the first time, your soul will rest. But even then, you will face a choice. Will you trust what God has placed before you, or will you let fear talk you out of it? Doubt will whisper that it's too good to be true. Old wounds will rise, trying to convince you that you are unworthy. Yet the truth is this: you were not just waiting for them, they were waiting for you. Every step of your journey was leading to this encounter. Every heartbreak was preparing your heart to recognize the real thing when it stood in front of you. This is why you cannot shrink back. This is why you cannot let fear write the ending to a story God has already begun. Because love like this does not just change your days, it changes your destiny. It pushes you higher, pulls you deeper, carries you into places you could never go alone. And when God unites you with your soulmate, it is not simply for happiness, it is for impact. Together, you become stronger. Together, you become unstoppable. Together, you carry out a purpose far bigger than your pain. So don't quit now. Don't silence the longing. Don't trade the eternal for something temporary. Your waiting has meaning. Your pain has purpose. And when God reveals the one He has written for you, every second of this season will make sense. Every unanswered prayer will find its answer. And you will finally see that what you thought was delay was always divine preparation. And when that kind of love enters your life, you will realize it was never about finding someone to fill the emptiness. It was about discovering the one who multiplies your strength, who ignites your spirit, who pushes you toward the destiny God wrote for you both. This is why the waiting was sacred. This is why the pain had to carve you deeper, because shallow love cannot carry the weight of eternal purpose. You were not created for half-hearted promises. You were not created to settle for almost love. You were created for a union that reflects God's own heart, a love that speaks louder than words, a love that carries the fingerprints of heaven. That is why the counterfeit could never satisfy you. That is why every failed attempt left you restless. Your soul has always been searching for what only God Himself could orchestrate. But understand this: destiny is not passive. You cannot simply wish and wait while clinging to the things God has asked you to release. You must let go of the distractions. You must release the weight of the past. You must open the space for the one who is meant to step in. Because the longer you hold on to what is broken, the longer you delay what is whole. Your soulmate is not just a blessing to you, they are an assignment with you. When God unites you, it is not just to heal your loneliness, it is to heal the world around you. Two hearts aligned with heaven can move mountains. Two souls walking in purpose can shift generations. This is the love story God writes, not for comfort, but for calling. So rise, stay awake, refuse to settle, because the love you are waiting for is not ordinary, it is extraordinary. And when it comes, it will not just change your life, it will change everything. This is why you cannot afford to let fear hold you back any longer. Every time you doubt yourself, every time you convince yourself that love like this is not for you, you are pushing away the very gift God is preparing. You are not unworthy. You are not forgotten. You are chosen, and the one He is sending into your life is chosen for you. But here is the urgency. You must become who God called you to be so that when your paths finally collide, nothing stands in the way. Imagine meeting them but still being chained to the pain of your past. Imagine being face to face with the one who was made for you, but being too blinded by fear to recognize them. That cannot be your story. You have come too far to lose everything at the finish line. This is the moment to rise, to heal, to trust, to believe again. Because the enemy will fight hardest right before the breakthrough. He will whisper that you are still alone, that nothing is changing, that God has forgotten you. But those lies only show how close you truly are. The resistance always grows before the release. The darkness always thickens before the dawn. Your soulmate is not waiting in some distant fantasy. They are real. They are alive. And even now, God is guiding their steps toward you as He guides yours toward them. Every delay, every detour, every heartbreak was a thread pulling you closer together. Soon those threads will tighten, and you will see that the author of your story never lost his place in writing it. So don't let go now. Don't silence the faith that has carried you this far. Hold on with everything inside you, because when God finally places your soulmate in your life, it will not just be an answer to prayer. It will be the unfolding of a promise. And once you step into it, you will wonder how you ever doubted Him at all. The truth is, this isn't just about love, it's about destiny. God isn't preparing you for a partner to pass the time. He is preparing you for a union that carries weight in eternity. When the right person walks into your life, they won't just change your days. They will change your direction. They will awaken gifts in you that you didn't even know you had. They will call out the greatness that fear tried to bury, and you will do the same for them. That is why the waiting feels so intense. That is why the pressure is so heavy, because what God is building in you requires depth, and depth is never born in comfort. You are not meant for surface-level connections. You are not meant for love that fades with time. You were created for a fire that endures, a love that reflects heaven, a bond that carries divine power. So ask yourself, will you be ready when it comes? Will you recognize them when God places them in front of you? Or will you let insecurity, distraction, or fear steal what was meant to be yours? The cost of unpreparedness is too high. The price of settling is too great. You cannot afford to miss this moment. Every choice you make right now is shaping the love story you will walk into. Every prayer, every act of trust, every step of obedience is clearing the path. Do not underestimate the season you are in. It is not empty space. It is sacred ground. God is aligning you for a collision that will alter the course of your life. And when it happens, it will not just feel like answered prayer. It will feel like destiny recognizing itself. Two souls finally united, stepping into a future that was written long before you ever knew how deeply you would long for it. And this is why you feel the stirring inside you right now. It is not random. It is not weakness. It is God reminding you that your story is not finished, that the love He has prepared is still on its way. The longing in your chest is not a curse. It is a signal, a sign that what you are waiting for is closer than it has ever been. But closeness demands readiness. You cannot afford to be distracted when destiny knocks. You cannot afford to give your energy to people who were never meant to carry your heart. The danger of settling is not just wasted time. It is the risk of missing the very thing you were created to experience. Do you understand how much is at stake? This is not just about who you marry. This is about the legacy you leave. The generations that come after you will live inside the choices you make today. A wrong step can chain you to pain for years, but the right one, guided by God, can unlock blessings that flow far beyond your lifetime. That is why your obedience matters. That is why your faith cannot waver now. You are closer than you think. Every test, every trial, every lonely prayer has been building to this. Heaven is aligning, and the moment your spirit and theirs collide, it will all make sense. So hold on. Keep building, keep trusting, because when God finally brings the two of you together, it won't just be love. It will be a divine partnership, a force the world cannot ignore, a story that will prove once and for all that God never forgets the promises he makes.